from the pilot here.
He's on Facebook.
Deepwater pilot.
You can also email in on the show, Ask John at Jameson.com, or you can call it. Put this in with your question, 844-693-3291. Let me say that again. It's 844-693-3291. So congratulations on being number one. I know you're pumped. James and Kelly have been helping you on the show.
Exactly. Yes, crushing it.
That's fantastic. All right, listen, everybody. If you got a question, call in. I've got him here right now.
In 300 feet, turn left on Hawksbridge Road, RT 140.
So, we're going to start off here with Mario. Mario, how can we help you?
State border ahead. In 900 feet, take the entrance to the right on I-95 South CR 551 and then keep to the left in 0.3 miles.
Gotcha. How much cash do you have? You're doing $173,000. Really?
In a quarter mile, keep to the left on I-95 South US 40 West.
So what's your household income, my friend?
61.
Okay. You've been saving, you got 73,000 saved up. Is some of that your emergency fund, of course?
Yes.
Okay. All right. And so how much do you have invested for retirement right now?
25
In 600 feet, keep to the left on I-95 South US 40 West.
Your ability to save is fantastic. You got a boatload of money sitting here. I'm going to tell you a couple of things. I would look at this, to answer your question directly, I would not toss the 401k just to pay off the house sooner. I think with where you are, you're making money, you've got some money. Do you owe on anything outside of this home?
I don't.
That's fantastic, man. You are crushing it. And so I would definitely continue to invest because we need to grow this money. And we got to get this money that you got sitting on the sidelines, Mario. We got to get it in the game. Okay? And just sitting in the savings account, this money's not working. It's got flip-flops, and it's in a hammock right now. I'm telling you, this money's just relaxing. And what we need to do is
continue on this road for 4.3 miles.
So here's what I want you to do. Obviously, you're going to keep probably 20 grand of this as an emergency fund. Let's leave that in the money market account, which means you've got $53,000 that needs to be doing something for you. Now, you're already invested.
Speed limit reduced ahead.
Here's the mindset around that. Could you take that 53 and throw that at the house? Yes, you could. You could absolutely throw that extra 53, keep paying your mortgage, keep investing your 15%. Okay? You got an emergency fund. Now you put that extra toward the house. Now instead of owing 50 or 97 on the house, now you're looking at 44,000.
That feels like an apple you can eat, baby.
And that is something, that's a home you're paying off, my friend. And I guarantee you 18 months. So, buddy, that's the route to go. Now, John, we got to talk about this because people right now are saving. They're sitting on a lot of money because this is the pandemic mindset.
Okay, tell me about that.
And what I'm telling people is that, A, 3 to 6 months of expenses is enough. 3 months, if you and your spouse have a stable income and a stable job, then a 3-month emergency fund is fine. If you're self-employed or you're a commission-based person, you want to lean more toward the 6-month emergency fund, just understanding that, hey, you can have some ills and outs, right? What I told people is that if your job was cut or your hours were cut, you needed to go and
crossing border, entering Delaware, toll booth ahead.
Right? But if your job is steady, had no change, then you need to keep working baby steps as well. And a lot of people are still trying to hold on to savings instead of attacking debt because of the pandemic.
So I'm going to serve as those people, because that's my heart and mind,
Right.
which is when things get out of my control, I want to withdraw. I want to make sure all my chickens are in the house,
Right.
and I want to hold my cash.
Speed limit reduced ahead.
So what you're telling me is when I get that 6 months, the emergency fund. And again, I just started a new show. I don't even know if Dave's gonna find me, right? So we could have some hills and valleys here, right? So I'm gonna hold this thing. After that, I'm not making sense. I'm not being wise with my money.
Yeah. What you're doing is I think it's one of those where it's this panic mentality. But remember, you've got the emergency fund. And so that's what I'm wanting people to remember. You've got that in place. So if life did happen, you have some money. The main thing is I don't want people to get in the mindset of allowing it, because of something that might happen. We can't live in might. Right? We got to live and will.
You gotta get in the game.
Right? And that will is a desire to push forward. So listen, you're out there, you look at Ramsey Plus. Okay, it's going to help you walk through the process. It's going to help you track stuff. You're going to know where you are better than ever. And you're going to also make some progress. This is the Dave Ramsey Show.
Speed warning. Speed limit reduced ahead. In 1.5 miles, keep to the left on I-295 South I-95 I-495.
You know what angers me? As folks are going through some really hard times, identity thieves are using every opportunity to prey on us. The scams are endless. You need to be prepared. Zander's ID theft protection is the only plan I have ever recommended, and I've looked at them all. They just do everything in a smarter, more affordable way. Look, most of these plans are just a bunch of hype. Not Zander. That's why I recommend them to you. Call 800-356-4282 or visit Zander.com.
Welcome back to the Dave Ramsey Show. I'm Chris Hogan, and hosting along with me is Dr. John Deloney. I want to let you know that the Chris Hogan Show is available for you. You can check it out on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, as well as SiriusXM. We take calls and we dive in and talk about life and money and get real. One of my favorite segments of the show that we do is called
Speed warning.
And did you know? And try to give some new information. And we also have another segment called Panic or Pumped, where we talk to people that may be feeling panicked about a certain money situation, or maybe feeling pumped up about something and we celebrate with them. And so we'd love to invite you to come over to listen. You can check it out. Go to my website, chrishogan360.com.
Speed limit reduced ahead.
Fun on that show.
Hey Chris, let me hop in here. What are a couple of excuses people are putting out there, getting in the way of their financial progress?
Speed limit
Because I
reduced
may or may
ahead.
not be an excuse maker.
Yes.
I may or may not be a little bit of a financial tightwad during the pandemic. So what are some excuses that are getting out there?
In a half mile, keep to the left on I-295 South I-95 I-495.
Thinking of the excuse that they have for not getting ahead financially, and some of the things you hear are lack of knowledge, where people say, I just didn't know how stuff worked, or people will get serious and say lazy.
In a quarter mile, keep to the left on I-295 South I-95 I-495.
Or whatever, and I love that people are honest and real about it, and we just talk about it, right? Because the what you gain has to be bigger than what you give up in order to make progress. So we have a lot of fun.
Love it, man.
All right, you all, listen, John and I are here and ready to take your questions. We want you to call us 888-825.
In 1 mile, keep to the left on I-95 South State Road 41 I-95 North.
We got Joe on the line calling from
Speed
Bethesda,
warning.
Maryland. Joe, how are you?
All right, sir. How are you?
I'm focused and not finished, my friend. What's on your mind?
So I don't know if you have heard, but recently the president has signed an executive order that said that federal employees will be deferred from payroll taxes if their paychecks are below $4,000.
In a half mile, keep to the left on I-95 South State Road 41 I-95 North and then keep to the left in 0.3 miles.
Capitol Police, and every once in a while my paycheck will dip below the $4,000 mark.
In a quarter mile, keep to the left on I-95 South State Road 41 I-95 North and then
the
Keep
fact
to the
that
left in
those
0.3 miles.
taxes won't be taken out of my check if my payments, if my paycheck is below that amount.
No, Joe, you're absolutely right, buddy. How long have you been serving as a police officer?
So I'm at
In a quarter mile, keep to the left on I-95 south and then keep to the right at 0.5
If I
miles.
could just say real quick, one of my buddies, Tom, who's no longer with Capitol Police, he's the one who introduced me to you guys, and I could not be more thankful to him for that.
That's fantastic, buddy. I appreciate you calling in. You're absolutely right. That executive order was signed in, and it's not optional. Like, you can't opt out. It is something where that 6.2% is going to be no longer withheld from your check. So what do? Well, I would say go back and look at other
keep to the
expenses.
right on
Look at the
I-95.
exact dollar amount that was kind of withheld on average, and you begin to withhold that yourself. Just put it over in your emergency fund or put it over in savings each paycheck. Because if they come back and then they start asking for that, or that's something that's added in a tax bill, then you've already got money set aside and you can take care of it. If they don't, and again, it'll take Congress to vote on this for it to be forgiven, okay? And so you can't make an assumption right now. So, Joe, what I would do is, again, look at that old pay stub, set aside that dollar amount each paycheck, just discipline yourself to do this until we get clarity on it, and I think clarity will come probably in November, post-election. I think there will be
Continue on this
a lot more
road for
clarity on that.
8.8
But
miles.
this is, again, you know, it's one of those things where, John, it's meant to try to help people. The problem is you don't know, is this a loan or is this forgiven?
The bill will come due,
It
my man.
really will.
It's gonna come due, man.
And so, just like I tell people who are self-employed, go ahead and set that money aside for the income tax. And that way, 25% is what I tell people. If they're self-employed, set that aside every paycheck. That way, then, once you do your taxes, whether it's quarterly or annually, you got money set aside, you can handle it.
And you said the D word that I want Joe and everyone to hear. Discipline.
Yes.
It's going to be so hard, man. You're going to get that check. It's going to have an extra X number, $70 or $30, whatever it is. And you're going to think, man, I can finally breathe. I can take her out to dinner. I can finally get those shoes. Put it in a drawer. Move it aside.
Move it aside.
The bill's gonna come due.
You don't want the headache. And
Man.
so, again, Joe, I appreciate you calling in. A lot of people are having this question right now. It is not forgiven. It is just something that is right now essentially being deferred. And that's the word to call it. It's deferred, which means it can come back. So just put that money aside and hang tight. Thank you, buddy, for
Great
that
question.
call. Yeah. All right, we're going to get over here to Bert. It's calling us from Hawaii. Bert, how are you?
No, thanks, how are you?
Oh, I'm focused and not finished. I've got John here with me. How can we help you?
So I have a question for both of you.
Uh-oh. Get him first.
I'm not babysit for a while, right? And one babysit to a husband. At the beginning of last month, I kind of lost the ride on school. And I financed a car, and I may or may not still owe money on my original car. And I reached out to the police and everything on Facebook, and so I put it up for sale as advised. But now my question for you, from the horse's mouth, so to speak, is because the bank who approved the loan is not any of the primary banks I've ever dealt with before. Do I get a loan for the difference from that bank, and then whoever pays me, however they want to pay me for this car, because I'm going to go off on either way, do I just pay them all at once, or do I get a loan from my primary bank and then pay the financial institution who gave me the auto loan along with whoever gives me the check?
Yeah.
How do I do that specifically?
Well,
and then I have a question for Dr. Neal.
Yeah, well, I think the big thing is you would definitely find out what it's worth, looking it up on Kelly Blue Book. You try to sell it for as much as possible, and then that gap between what you owe on it and what you're able to sell it for, I would look at a credit union or a bank to get a short-term loan to pay that off. And by short-term, I'm talking about an 18 to 24-month type situation. Okay. Bert, I'm curious. You said you already had a car, and you said you may or may not owe money on. Don't you lie to me. You owe money on that car, don't you?
Yeah, I owe like $400 $2,200.
All right, and how much you paying on that
And it
thing?
would have been paid off if I wasn't stupid enough to dang its teeth.
How did this other car come into the picture?
So that's kind of the question for Dr. Steve.
Well, hold on, don't you leave me yet.
Yeah, you already called him a horse. You already called him a horse, so...
Okay, real quick, tell me how this other car came into the place, then I'll let you talk to him.
That's a loaded question. There's a lot of things. But yeah, I was renting a car because I just moved to Hawaii, and my car was being held hostage by the BPC, and I was trying to save $1,800 a month on a rental. That was pretty good reimbursed anyway. And then I'm falling out with my friend's father. And so I justified it because his later was my birthday, and why not, right? And now I'm in the hole.